Hey y'all, it's your girl Nida and welcome back to my channel. So, if you guys remember a couple months ago, I decided to do kind of like a comparison video between the Real Technique sponge and the Beauty Blender. And that was an epic fail because initially the first video I did, my face came out looking amazing. And I looked like I knew what the hell I was doing outside of using the two different sponges. And I lost all that footage, unfortunately, and had to refilm it in a quick hurry. And let's just say if you go back and watch it, it looks kind of tragic. My face looks super tragic. So, fast forward to almost a year later. I can say almost a year later. And I'm back with another sponge comparison, but this time it is not the Beauty Blender because you guys have seen me use the Beauty Blender on my channel. That is a sponge that I very much do love. Now, believe me, I love my Real Technique sponge, but I also very much do love my Beauty Blender. But today I've got two more affordable sponges than the Beauty Blender, but they're still a little bit more than the Real Technique sponge. Yeah, because the Real Technique sponge is like 2 for $10 and it's like 1 for like $5. You know, like the Real Technique sponge is literally like the A game of affordable beauty product tools. Like that's the gold standard for me is the Real Technique sponge. But anyways, so today I've got the NYX sponge, which you can only get online. I believe this was about $7.99, $7.39, 89. It was $7 and some change, so plus tax was like $8. And the Tarte QUICKIE sponge, which was $16. So both of these are only available online, interestingly enough. At least when I go online to shop on Ulta, these are both online. When I go to my Ulta stores, they're not in the store. So if you do live by an Ulta and both of these are in the store, then yay, kudos for you. Unfortunately, your girl had to buy them both online, so who knows. So yeah, I'm gonna be comparing the two of them today. So let's see here. This is going to be the NYX side, and here's gonna be the Tarte side. Yeah, let's see if I remember that. Okay, so I'm actually gonna put these on either side. Slap those down right there. And I'm going to be doing my face as I normally would. I'm going to highlight, I'm going to contour as I normally would. Actually, no, I'm not going to contour because I don't use my sponges for that unless I'm cream contouring. And look here. Powder contouring has finally become a simple task for me. So I'm not going to jump ahead of myself and get crazy. So I'm gonna do my usual highlight, set my highlighter and whatnot. I'm not going to do my eyebrows or anything like that because who needs to? I'm gonna prime my face using these sponges because typically I use my Smashbox primer water as well as the Mario Badescu facial spray. I use both of these. I usually use the Mario Badescu because it just kind of refreshes my skin because typically I'm filming a tutorial and it's later in the evening or later in the afternoon, so just revitalize my skin. And then of course I prime with the Smashbox primer water. This stuff is actually really awesome. If you are someone who doesn't do your makeup all the time, I don't suggest going out and buying the big bottle, which is $16. I suggest buying this bad boy, which I think was like 10, so, or 12. There'll be links in the description box. So make sure you click down there. And yeah, enough of me running my mouth. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do this voiceover style or me talking. It'll probably be, oh my god, it'll probably be a voiceover, so that way I don't ramble your ears off like I'm doing right now. Anyways, I'm gonna go wet these and then proceed to do my face. Oh, also if you want to know, I'm gonna be concealing with my NYX concealer palette. I'm gonna be setting my face or my highlighted areas with my RC No Color Powder using my Tarte Hybrid Gel Foundation, which is my favorite right now for foundation for both sides, and I'm gonna be using the Too Faced Born This Way concealer for both sides for under eye. So yeah, let's get right on into it. Okay, So something I noticed right off the bat that I'm like, oh, let me just talk about this real quick. So this thing gets ginormous. Look how big this is. Look, I have small hands, so this is a horrible comparison. But look how big that is compared to like my hand. Look how big this is. Ginormous. This is huge. This big ass sponge. And then the next one, it did get, I will say it did get, it's not as big as this, definitely not. But this was hard. This felt so much harder when it was dry, whereas this one still felt really soft, like the beauty blenders. Excuse me, beauty blender is so dirty right now. Whereas the beauty blenders still are soft when they're dry, but this felt like a freaking rock. You wet it and it does become a lot softer, thankfully. I thought this was gonna be like a brick. Like, it felt, I don't know, it feels kind of rubbery. You know those like cheapy ones you get like TJ Maxx and like Marshalls and like Walmart? It kind of feels like those when it's dry, and then you wet it and it gets considerably softer. The feeling does still feel on the outside kind of rubbery, but not in a bad way when it's wet, whereas this is like super soft. It's ginormous. This is really soft. This is like, it kind of feels when it's wet like maybe a little softer than the beauty blender, which is weird because I do like how the beauty blender still is a little firm. I do like to have some of that firmness. I feel like this might have just a little too much give, but we'll see. Let's do the application and we'll see.
Alright y'all, so as I said before, I'm just going to prime my face with this Mario Badescu, and I usually pat it in with a sponge, so I'm just going to pat on the Tarte side and the NYX side. And then I'm going to spray my face with my Smashbox primer water and do the same process. Pat in with the Tarte side, pat in with the NYX side. So now I'm just going to be adding some concealer to both sides of my face. I'm going to be using the orange shade in that NYX concealer palette just to conceal some dark spots and little acne scars on my face. Alright, so I'm going to be dotting my foundation on both sides of my face, and then I'm going to be blending it out, but you're going to see me try to blend this out with this NYX sponge, and then my arm starts to hurt, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Because I typically blend out my foundation with a foundation brush, and then I blend out the foundation some more with my beauty blender. So I was like, I should just stay true to my application process that I always use and do it that way. So you're going to see me here say, the hell am I doing? My arms hurt. Pick up a brush and do this the way I usually do. And then I'll go back in and use a sponge. Yep, see it right there. That girl, what the hell is you doing? Yep.
Okay, so final thoughts. I like this a lot. I like it a lot for the price. Do I feel it's better than the Real Technique sponge? I think it and the Real Technique sponge are very, very close. Very, very close. This did a really good job when I was trying to blend out my foundation with it. It gave me a very full coverage look, especially in my problem areas. Yeah, it blended out the concealer so good. Like, I was so surprised. And then I was like, oh, maybe it's because they're both NYX products, but I doubt that. I highly doubt that NYX, you know, this NYX sponge is better when you use NYX products. I highly doubt it. If it is, then that's very clever of NYX. I think my only con about this sponge is I feel like it, actually, no, I don't really have a con. Oh, other than the fact that it's still pretty hard when you are, listen to this, even if you tap it, listen to that, I'm tapping it, yeah, I feel like it is still a little hard, even if you're, you know, you are tapping on the face. That's why you're gonna see you see my face like, what? Like, I feel like I was beating myself. Whereas the Beauty Blender, or, you know, the Beauty Blender is a lot softer on the face. It bounces a little softer. This one definitely has bounce, but it's just harder because the sponge itself is a little harder. But other than that, it's not a bad sponge. If you're looking for an affordable sponge, stop buying the TJ Maxx Marshall ones and go get you one of these, or a Real Technique sponge. But since the Real Technique sponge is not in this isn't in, it's not in here. So I would say go out and get one of these. Okay, so the Tarte one, super soft. Blends out very easily. I loved the way it blended out my under eye concealer. I do kind of feel like this picks up more product off of your face, which is fine by me. It still gives you a full coverage look. I kind of feel like, in a way, it does, depending upon how much product you already have on your face, I kind of feel like it'll take up a little bit more and give you a more lighter coverage if you want. So that's kind of cool that you're able to control your coverage, you know, because your sponge essentially will soak up some of that extra product. Say you make a mistake and you're like, too much, it will help correct that for you. I feel like this is too soft. I feel like this is way too soft. Like, I don't know, like, I mean, I don't feel like I'm beating myself, which is good. And you don't hear that tapping from the blending. But I think my biggest problem is this is just too big for my little hands. Like, and I'm squeezing, and you see me, like, I'm squeezing it. And I feel like the more I squeeze, the more I use of it, like, as time goes on, it's gonna rip because I'm constantly squeezing it too hard just for it to fit in the small areas. This does fit under the under eye, but it does, I don't know, it just feel like it's still too big for my face. Whereas this fits like perfectly under the under eye, and this one's like, I did poke myself in the eye, and I did get a little concealer in my eye. While using this side, whereas this one I had more control. So I think these are both great sponges, and I do think they are great alternatives. So if you don't want to essentially buying a beauty blender, so if you don't want to spend the $20 on a beauty blender, these are both two great choices to choose from, because this one retails for $16 basically, which is a whole $4 and change less than a beauty blender, and this one retails for a whole $8, which is a heck of a lot less than buying a beauty blender. So I mean, this is definitely what I would consider it as kind of like this would be drugstore. It'd be a great drugstore sponge, whereas this one's a good, like, kind of medium range sponge. And the beauty blender would be considered like a high end, and the Real Techniques would also be considered a drugstore sponge. I love the Real Technique sponge. It definitely doesn't get as big as this one. Like, definitely doesn't. I believe it gets about the same size, or maybe a little bigger than this one, or a little small. Yeah, maybe a little bigger. But yeah, other than that, I'm equally impressed. I don't have any like super major like, oh my god, don't buy this sponge cons. Like, I think these are both pretty great, and especially if, you know, you're looking for something affordable, I think these are both great options. So hey, try them out for yourself. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I think I might be redoing my beauty blender versus the Real Technique sponge, or I might be doing a head-to-head battle royale style between the beauty blender, the Real Technique sponge, and the Tarte sponge. So if you guys want to see that, then let me know in the description box. Whoa, hold on. Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to follow on my social medias. Follow me on Twitter. because right now I have like no Twitter followers, and it bums me out because it's like I'm talking to myself a lot of the time, but it's okay because at least the Twitter is there. The followers will come in time. So, but yeah, don't forget to hit the little bell on your way out. I know that's a lot. You know, it's a big commitment to hit the bell. I wish YouTube was smart and was like, hey, you subscribe to this person, so we're gonna automatically send you notifications, but we're gonna allow you to choose the frequency or infrequency that you want these notifications. I wish YouTube did that, but apparently they don't. Google. So make sure to hit the bell so that way you guys can always be up to date when I upload. So yeah, go get you one of these or a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge, and I'll see y'all in my next one. Bye.